You've got the dryer pulled away from the wall, and this is the exact moment people start feeling nervous. Because it's electric, it's 240 volts, and you can't see electricity. The good news is this is absolutely doable. You don't need an electrician. You just need a simple, repeatable safety routine so you can work calmly and confidently. By the end of this, you'll know how to shut an electric dryer down the right way, verify it's actually off, and avoid the common mistakes that trip people up. An electric dryer usually uses a 240 volt circuit, which is basically two 120 volt hot legs. That's what makes the heating element heat. Here's the key idea. We're not going to be careful and hope, we're going to remove power and then prove it's removed. That's what makes this safe. If you only remember two things, remember these. First, your breaker panel. That's your power switch for the whole dryer circuit. Second, a way to verify power is off. A multimeter is best. A non-contact voltage tester is helpful, but I don't like relying on it alone for this kind of circuit. If you've never used a multimeter, no worries. I'm keeping this simple, but you can always check out our tutorial linked in the description. Go to your electrical panel and look for the dryer breaker. It's usually a double breaker tied together, often 30 amps. Flip it fully to off and you should feel and hear a nice satisfying clunk. Now here's where people usually mess up. The panel label says dryer, but the wrong breaker got labeled years ago, or someone swapped breakers around. So don't stop at I flipped a breaker. We still verify. Back at the dryer, if your cord is plugged into a receptacle, unplug it. Grab the plug, not the cord. Wiggle it out if you need to, but don't yank the wire. If the plug is stuck, cracked, warm, or the outlet looks darkened or melted looking, don't keep forcing it. That's a pause the project moment. A damaged connection can overheat and it needs to be addressed before you keep going. If your dryer is hardwired with no plug, that's a different setup. You can still make it safe, but you need to shut off power at the breaker and verify at the dryer's connection box. If you're not comfortable with hardwired electrical work, it's completely fine to bring in a pro for that part. Even if you unplugged it, I want you to build the habit of verifying, especially if you're about to open panels. If you have a multimeter, set it to AC volts. Extreme care should always be taken to protect against electrical shock, which could potentially result in serious injury. You're going to test the outlet only if you're comfortable doing so. If you're not, skip testing the voltage and just rely on unplugging plus turning the breaker off. If you do test the outlet, you're looking for no voltage where there used to be voltage. On a typical 4-prong dryer outlet, you'd normally see about 240 volts hot to hot and about 120 volts hot to neutral. With the breaker off, those readings should drop to basically zero. This can get a little confusing because of the different outlets and power cords you might find here. 3-prong, 4-prong, even oven outlets that aren't supposed to be there. I've seen them all. Typically, the two flat blade type prongs on the left and right are your hot legs, L1 and L2, each with their own 120 volt supply. Your neutral line may be another blade type prong or sometimes an L shape that looks like it came from Tetris. On a 4-prong plug, you'll also have a rounded prong, pretty similar to what you'd see on a 120 volt cord on a larger scale. That's ground. Now, an important habit, test your meter on something you know is live before and after, like a normal wall outlet. That way you know your meter is working and you didn't just get a 0 because the meter battery is bad or the setting is wrong. That little double check is a huge win. If you're going back there, make sure the dryer is unplugged and the breaker is off. Then remove the small access cover. And here's the big gotcha. People see the power is off and they start loosening screws with a metal screwdriver while their other hand is braced on the dryer frame. Just slow down. Work with good lighting, keep your hands dry, remove jewelry like rings or bracelets, and don't lean your body into the machine while you're working around wiring. When you look at the terminal block, you'll typically see 3 screw terminals in a row. The center is neutral. The outer 2 are the hot legs. If you have a 4-prong cord, you'll also see a separate green ground wire that bonds to the dryer frame. That's fine. Ground and neutral are separate in this setup. If you have a 3-prong cord, there's no separate ground wire in the cord. Older installations used a bonding strap or bonding wire that ties neutral to the frame. That's normal for that older configuration, but you don't want to mix and match these parts incorrectly. So the rule is simple. On a 4-prong setup, the dryer frame ground and neutral stay separated. On a 3-prong setup, neutral is bonded to the frame through the proper strap or wire. If you're unsure what you have, take a clear photo before touching anything. That's not being new, that's being smart. Where the cord passes through the dryer's metal panel, there should be a strain relief clamp. If that clamp is missing or loose, the cord can rub on the sharp metal edges over time. That can cause shorts, trip breakers, or a cord that overheats. So before you button everything up, make sure the cord is secured. You want the clamp tight enough that the cord can't pull on the terminals, but not so tight that it crushes the insulation. Once your work is done, put the terminal block cover back on. That cover isn't optional. It keeps dust out, protects the connections, and prevents accidental contact later when you're moving the dryer around. Then plug the dryer back in, push it back carefully without crushing the vent, and only then go flip the breaker back on. Success looks like this. The dryer powers on normally, there's no burning smell, no buzzing, no flickering lights, and the cord sits firmly in the outlet with no looseness. After the first heated cycle, it's a good idea to feel the plug area quickly with your hand. It should feel normal, not hot. Warm is one thing, hot is a stop and investigate sign. If you made it this far, you've already learned the most important skill for dryer repair: controlling power and verifying it's actually off. That's the difference between a stressful job and a smooth job. Take your time, take a quick photo before you change anything, and stick to the routine. Breaker off, unplug, verify, work clean, cover back on, then restore power. You can do this, and once you've done it once, it stops being intimidating fast.